Welcome to this explainer. Go ahead and take a soft, deep breath and just allow yourself to settle in for a moment. Today, we're diving into a beautifully restorative workshop all about autoimmune support, specifically looking at how Kriya Yoga and expressive arts therapy come together. We'll be walking through a really compassionate approach to healing, one that totally steps away from that rigid clinical vibe and leans into a much more grounding, earthy warmth. Our goal here today is to unpack the source material and figure out exactly how these two unique modalities weave together to offer some genuinely profound support for anyone navigating an autoimmune condition. So let's kick things off with a deeply personal question. Are you surviving or are you truly resting? It's kind of a heavy question, right? But it is absolutely essential. When you're dealing with an autoimmune condition, your body is pretty much constantly stuck on high alert. And that deep, profound exhaustion you feel, it isn't just because you had a busy Tuesday. It's a chronic, foundational fatigue. Before we can even talk about solutions, we have to get real about our baseline. Are you just scraping by, surviving day to day, or are you actually allowing your body to experience deep, restorative rest? Let's move right into section 1, the reality of autoimmune exhaustion. Now, we are so conditioned to look at illness strictly through the physical toll. The aching joints, the extreme physical exhaustion, all those tangible symptoms. But when you look at the emotional toll, the stress, the constant overwhelm, emotional suppression, and total nervous system exhaustion, that carries an equal, if not much heavier, weight. Emotional suppression literally impacts your physical body. It creates this exhausting loop where mental fatigue worsens the physical pain, and then the physical pain just drives the mental fatigue even deeper. And because of that intense loop, we end up at this really heartbreaking reality. So many people living with autoimmune disorders end up feeling completely disconnected from themselves. I mean, when your body feels like a source of pain or even betrayal, it's entirely natural to kind of check out and dissociate from it. You shift straight into survival mode. But here's the thing, survival mode isn't where healing happens. It's just where we endure. This workshop framework recognizes that this disconnection is actually the primary roadblock to wellness, meaning there is an immediate, massive need for true rest. Which brings us nicely to section 2, calming the nervous system. Look, you simply cannot force a hypervigilant, exhausted body to suddenly start healing. It doesn't work that way. You have to speak its language first. And the language of an exhausted nervous system is safety. So the whole foundation of this approach is to create a gentle space. A space to just slow down, reconnect, breathe, and most importantly, support your body with actual compassion. Notice how there's absolutely no urgency here. We aren't talking about fixing anything today. We're just talking about softening and meeting your body exactly where it's at, totally judgment-free. To help build that feeling of safety, Kriya Yoga leans on 4 really gentle practices. First is breathwork, which acts almost like an instant safety signal to your brain. Then, gentle movement, to slowly ease back into mobility without setting off any stress alarms. Third is meditation, to help quiet down all that overwhelming mental chatter. And finally, grounding, to anchor you right back into the present moment. It's basically a step-by-step pathway back into your own body. And the greatest thing about these Kriya Yoga practices is that they aren't just stretches. They are specific tools meant to bring about real relaxation, emotional balance, and massive stress reduction. By doing these, you start to rebuild your body awareness and find this sense of inner calm. Slowly but surely, you actually begin to trust your physical self again. Okay, moving right along to section 3, reconnecting through expressive arts. Let's be super clear about what this means, because expressive arts therapy is definitely not an art class. It's simply using creativity as a tool to express really complex emotions, to reconnect with yourself, and to safely explore whatever it is your body might be holding on to. Remember that emotional suppression we talked about a minute ago? This is where we safely and gently open up that valve. It's just a way to communicate the things that are way too heavy to say out loud. And to do that, the workshop uses a bunch of different methods. It could be painting, drawing, some guided writing, movement, or even just quiet reflection. Having this variety is absolutely crucial because, well, we all process exhaustion and trauma differently, right? It's an invitation to just let go and express yourself completely freely, using whatever method feels right for your energy in that exact moment. Now, if you take nothing else away from this explainer, please let it be this. This is not about creating perfect art. And it is not about forcing healing. Honestly, perfectionism and rushed timelines are usually what fry our nervous systems in the first place. There is absolutely zero pressure here to make a masterpiece. It is 100% about the process of getting what's trapped inside out. You can't bully your body into healing, and this whole approach completely throws that toxic pressure right out the window. That leads us to section 4, creating space to breathe. This source material perfectly sums up this whole vibe with a really beautiful quote. Space to breathe, space to feel, space to reconnect with yourself gently. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We live in a world that is constantly screaming at us to push harder, go faster, and just ignore our pain. So deliberately carving out a little pocket of space just to breathe and feel, that is profound medicine. It is the exact opposite of that survival mode we talked about at the start. And what makes this whole concept so incredibly powerful is how accessible it is. There are literally no barriers to entry here. No artistic experience is needed, no yoga experience is needed. You don't have to be flexible, you don't have to be creative, you don't even need to be having a good symptom day. Literally, the only requirement is that you are willing to just show up, exactly as you are, exhaustion, pain, the whole shebang. And finally, we arrive at our last section, your invitation to rest. Just to tie it all together, this is a dedicated 2-hour workshop completely tailored for folks living with autoimmune conditions. It is hyper-focused on nervous system regulation, boosting your emotional well-being, sparking a little low-pressure creativity, and gently repairing that mind-body connection. It's a truly holistic way to finally get some deep rest. If you are thinking, yes, I absolutely need this, here are the details you need to know. It's happening on Friday, the 5th of May, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's hosted by @Soulful by Jen, and since it is an online session, you can do the whole thing from the safety and comfort of your own couch or bed or wherever you feel best. Before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, really important question to think about today. Just ask yourself, what is your body holding on to right now? Is it stress, suppressed emotions, pure exhaustion? And more importantly, are you finally ready to let it go and actually rest? Remember, healing doesn't always have to be a fight. Sometimes the most powerful healing happens when we just allow ourselves to soften. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I truly hope you find the space, the breath, and the gentle rest that you absolutely deserve. See you next time.